So hello once again, YouTube. I know it's been about 4 months since I've put out a video, but before I get to telling you why, I would like to put out a shout out to Clamzo1, who's one of my subscribers, and about 5 months ago, quite a while ago, I put out a video on, the title of it was How to Lay Out a Cone. Well, Mr. Clamzo1 informed me that what I was actually laying out was a frustrum, and this is a frustrum. It's a cone with the top cut off. So I think back in the 60s when I learned how to lay these out, they didn't have frustrums probably. I think frustrums came about somewhere in the maybe early 80s. So in my defense, I think that's what I'm going to believe. So the title of that video should have been How to Lay Out a Frustrum, not a Cone. So thank you for correcting me in that. I appreciate being corrected when it's necessary. So the reason I haven't put out a video, several reasons. One, it's been quite cold and rainy up here in Northern California. We've had snow several times, which is not typical, and we've had a lot of rain. This is how our creek usually looks, and this is as close as we came to flooding out twice so far this year, this winter. So there was a lot of time spent maintaining the property and not diverting, but diking water in certain places to keep it from coming into the shop and into the house. Another reason is I've been quite busy on producing some of my blacksmith items, and then doing repairs on such things as I repaired a log splitter. I did a an aluminum intake tube for a turbocharger. I've repaired the water sensor port for an aluminum intake manifold. Just a lot of things that were not sheet metal related. And in that, just recently, a week ago, a friend of mine came by to pick up a piece that I had repaired for him, and he mentioned that he hadn't seen a video up in quite a while. And I explained to him that you know, some of the other projects that I've been working on, some of the things that I've been either building or repairing, and that I've spent quite a bit of time on rearranging my shop, and we'll get to that in just a minute. He said something that caught my ear, and that was the stuff that I do is so odd, and the reason that people come to me for repair and designing of different tools, machines, and things like that was because it's so much odd stuff goes through my shop, and that he would like to see how I make those repairs and design different tools and machines. And it got me thinking that I think what I'm going to do is kind of change my channel. It was originally, 5 years ago when I originally started it, it was going to be on metal shaping and restoration of cars and such. But I think I'm going to shift it over to damn near everything I do in my shop. It's going to be extremely diverse, but you'll see stuff going on in the machine shop, blacksmithing, if I have that type of thing to do. Making different tools. When I get a project, I know that I have built different tools to make different tools. I don't know if that makes sense or not. It's like my radius turning tool. I needed to make a set of dies to use my bead roller. In order to make that set of dies, I had to design and build a radius turning tool. That's what I'm getting at, is I'm going to show more tools and tooling and how to make tools to make the parts that I need to make. So down below, give me a short word on if that is in fact what you want to see. That's how I'm going to be heading off. This is March of 2019, and as of this date, that is the way I'm going to be taking my channel, is everything inclusive, all of the stuff that I do. So let me know what you think about that, and we'll get on. So with my shop, you may have remembered that there was a set of racks from the ceiling to the floor in that corner. Well, I've taken that out. That opened up that whole corner of the shop. So I moved my bead blaster over there, turned my TIG. It used to be against the wall here, and I rotated it 90 degrees and put all of my bottles over in this area here. It's basically the same, but what that allowed me to do was take this table and push it all the way against the wall, and the end of my vise used to be right about here. So that's opened up a considerable amount of space in this whole area. It allows me to get a car in here without every time I wanted to do something bump into the vise. So that pretty much takes care of this whole wall. pushed everything back. I still have my tongs, my treadle hammer, my oxyacetylene, and that. And I'll show you now what's happened to the east wall. This is all of the north wall. So let me change the cameras around a little bit and I'll show you the east wall. So this wall has pretty much stayed the same. As I said, I have the treadle hammer, oxyacetylene, bunch of hammers, dollies, stake table, my rolling cabinet. There's all my T-dollies and special hammers, air grinding. This is a table I move around with a sawhorse that I can make into a table. My 256-pound Peter Wright. I'm not quite sure yet where that is going to go. I have my disc grinder, cabinet with all of my vices, C-clamps, pony clamps, vice grips and such, masking tape, all types of tape and sandpaper in there. These are just little spacer blocks, short rims of different pieces. One nice thing that's happened was this cabinet here with all of my grinders on it used to live back in that corner, and so I've moved it out. I've moved my punch press down a bit, so anytime I want to grind a tool bit or chisel, punch, anything like that, I have access to this now without moving everything else around. When I use the punch press, I have all of the tooling that I use back in that corner. So all I have to do is move the grinder out, and then I have full access to the punch press. Just move my table down a little bit so the handle on the mill isn't poking me, but this is going to work out great. I've done a whole bunch of punch press work just recently. In fact, I made a video of it. I'll put that up later. So you can see how the punch press works and some of the tooling that I've made for the punch press. Now let's get to the south wall. So just beside the punch press is the mill. I used to have the mill hooked up with two different styles of three-phase converters, both of them electronic type. The first one I tried was a 3 to 5 horsepower, and the mill wouldn't start in low range. So I bought a 1 to 3 horsepower, still had the same problem. So one of the other things I did while I was moving everything around was I installed a 3-phase rotary converter, and I'll show you that in a minute. So my mill, the red box there, has a lot of precision tools that I use with the mill and the lathe. Little cabinet with all my hold downs, 1/2-inch shank, oversized drills up to 1 inch, collets, T-slot cleaners and wrenches and stuff. Back here, you can't see it from there, is my sandbag, hammers, and dollies. my vibrating deburring machine, the old standby drill press. I bought this drill press back in 1983. I got a contract down in El Segundo, California, down in LA, for 1 year, and in that year I designed and built 6 special purpose machines. They would hand me a part, tell me how many parts they want a day out. I would design the machine, and I bought this drill press to do that one year's worth of work. Here's my my cutoff saw. It's a Haberly cold saw, and right next to it is the 3-phase converter that I just recently installed. So with putting the 3-phase rotary converter in, not only can I now use my mill both in high and low range, but it's going to allow me to bring my tubing bender out and get it running. It was 3-phase and it wouldn't start on those other converters either. So I built the tubing bender back in first part of the 90s. I designed and built 2 sprint cars for a fellow named Glenn Ferguson, and so I spent that next winter building a car for myself, and I raced that one for about 5 seasons, and then I crashed and hurt my neck pretty bad, so I quit driving. I loaned my tubing bender to a friend to build a dune buggy, and when I got it back it was kind of messed up, so I brought it in, tried to get it working again. When I tried plugging it in, it just wouldn't work. The converters weren't powerful enough to get it started. So now that I have my rotary 3-phase converter, I'm going to get my tubing bender out and get it working again, and I'll probably make a video on that. So thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a message down below stating whether or not you want or you like the way I'm going to be taking this channel. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you later.